Hi, empaths. Welcome back. I hope that you are feeling peaceful and hopeful and optimistic about the power of your life, the power that exists within you. Thank you for showing up as the beautiful soul and the beautiful light that you are. And please remember that you are divinely supported in all ways. Today, we are talking about empath intelligence, and supposedly there are 9 styles of intelligence. And if you're unfamiliar with what those 9 styles are, you can look them up in your search engine. You might find them to be quite interesting. And we've also been taught that there's 5 senses, right? And so what's interesting as an empath, though, is that the more we're on the journey and we dial into spirit and connect with the quantum field and the all that is, we recognize more and more that, almost everything exists into the infinite, right? So who's to say there's only 9 styles of intelligence? We know that there's academic intelligence, and there's other types of intelligence, but what if there's some intelligences that we have not even dialed into yet? Of course, the possibilities are endless. So as empaths along our journey, we discover that there's so much more than we've been taught. And not everything is taught in this life to us as an empath. Many things are caught. So as we're in meditation, as we're in prayer, as we are in dream space, there's things that we catch. We're floating around there in dream space, flying through the universes with our divine teams, our angels, our ancestors, our guides, and we catch things, we pick up on things, and they become downloaded into our consciousness. So not everything is taught. And most empaths would probably disagree that there's only 5 senses, only because, if you are dialed in on any level as an empath, we sense things that go beyond smell, go beyond, auditory, go beyond visual, taste, touch. There's knowings that we have, you can be claircognizant, along with all the other clairs, right? Clairsentient and clairaudient and clairvoyant, all the clairs. We can know things and we don't know how we know things, and we can feel things, but it's not an actual feeling. It's more like a vibration or a frequency. there's things at the cellular level that you don't know how you know. It's the life of an empath. So many of the experiences that we have are not easily explained. And regarding intelligence, brilliance really doesn't have any limit, right? So why stop at the 9 styles? We all know what academic intelligence is, mathematics and science and English. And, there's so many different illustrations of academic brilliance. And those are included in the 9 styles if you happen to research them. But we empaths also experience otherworldly intelligence. We have energetic intelligence. We have spiritual intelligence. We have ancestral intelligence, which does impact our DNA. We have access to quantum intelligence, plus a lot more into the infinite. So empaths are emotionally sensitive. We all know that. We've been this way since birth. And along our empath journey, our experiences hone our emotional sensitivity and our tendency to absorb the energies around us. Those over time, that tendency to absorb energy and the emotional overload and the emotional overwhelm and all of those things that we all kind of go through as empaths, over time, that's all honed into a rich emotional experience, and we could call it emotional intelligence. Our emotional intelligence is often the catalyst to our evolving spiritual practices and our wisdom. So what was once very challenging to experience feeling the emotions of everybody, feeling the emotional intensity of our community and our world, and not knowing if the emotion I'm feeling is theirs or is it mine or is it a combination. Eventually we get through all of that and we are able to hone this gift that we have, and it becomes our emotional intelligence. With emotional intelligence, we have incredible wisdom, and we are able to fulfill our mission assignments and our spirit work and our soul work in a very beautiful way. As spiritually intelligent beings, we look at emotional, experiences intentionally. We're not just looking at, oh, that's anxiety, or that's worry, or that's fear, or oh, that's sadness, or that's joy, or that's happiness. As we evolve on our empath journey, we begin to look at each and every emotion intentionally. We recognize the vibrational signature that goes along with the feeling or emotion. Energetically, we can see it often for what it truly is, as opposed to getting caught up in the, superficial or one-dimensional emotional experience. Energetically, we see it for what it truly is. And we have a clear vision, which allows us to alchemize or move energy when necessary. So an emotion shows up, and for an evolved empath that's done the work, and they're flourishing in their emotional intelligence and their spiritual intelligence, they're able to energetically decipher that emotional code, if you will, and recognize the vibrational signature of that emotion and the frequency of that emotion, so that if there's anything that needs to be transmuted, up-leveled, shifted, cleared, attuned, aligned, it can be done, all because of the empath intelligence. So imagine the practice of Tai Chi or Qigong, and I have not done either in a very long time, so I'm not going to pretend to be any kind of master. It's been quite a while since I did Tai Chi, and it's been quite a while since I did Qigong, but I do actually want to bring them back into my energetic experience and into my spiritual practices, because they're both extremely powerful. But think about Qigong, and if you're not familiar with Qigong or Tai Chi, again, use your trusty Google or your trusty search engine, and even on YouTube, I'm sure that they have lots and lots of tutorials for Tai Chi, and there's a lot of different types of Qigong, a lot of different lineages. So, but the movements are so graceful. They're so beautiful. And these movements are examples of how we can gracefully but powerfully move energy. Okay? You can gracefully, and we are using breath with these movements, bringing energy in, moving energy out, shifting. Okay? So as empaths, we can gracefully and powerfully shift energy. We can move and transmute energy, even when it's coming from a lower structure. And we can always shift and transmute that energy from lower structures into something useful. So how encouraging that is if you conceptualize everything has a purpose. And even if it's showing up in a lower way, in a way that's unhealthy, in a way that's nefarious or destructive or uncomfortable, at any given moment, it could be shifted into higher light. And so I'll give you an example. In our world today, we're experiencing the aftermath of pandemic. And while to some degree that feels like it's slowed down, now we have the energy of war. So notice we had the energy of pandemic, and with that came an energy of fear and worry and sometimes anxiety, paranoia, death. loss, sorrow. And now there's an energy of war. And there's, depending on the country that you live in, but with social media, we're kind of like all connected, right? It's like one country, one world, one country. We all know what's going on, unless you're living completely off grid. So there's drama everywhere. And one of the things, I think we can all agree upon, if we just, whether you look at things spiritually or historically, famine and war, poverty, drama, sickness, these are things that our world has contended with for centuries, right? So they're not new, and they certainly create concern. But when we remember that they have always existed, but divine light and the original source code has always existed as well. So at any given moment, we can shift energy, no matter what's going on, we can shift energy into something useful and peaceful and better. So, for example, our brothers and sisters that are experiencing war right now, sending love and light to all who have been displaced from their homes, had to flee their homes, all who have not consented to war but are nevertheless the victim of it on any level, physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, financially. Always, we send love and light to our brothers and sisters that are experiencing war, famine, poverty, disease, sadness, drama, tyranny, power and control, domestic violence, disrespect. We send love and light to all of our brothers and sisters across the world and the globe. And why stop there? Let's send love and light to our planet, to the animals, to the trees, to the elements, to the elementals, to all layers and levels of consciousness, into the infinite. We send love and light. So even during challenging, painful, discouraging times, something is still available. If we use our empath intelligence, we can find the gold. We can find the glitter. We can find the offering. We can find the peace. We can shift and find the blessing, the gift. One thing about our world, the issues and challenges we've been going through over the last couple of years, many of us have reclaimed the knowing that since tomorrow's not promised, we want to spend more time with our loved ones. We want to be with people, our tribe, those who really get us, see us, and have the ability to witness us. Since tomorrow's not promised, since we don't know what tomorrow holds, let's live for today and thrive. Let's connect. Let's use social media for good. Let's get on the phone. Let's use a conventional phone or our cell phone. Let's be with those people we love. That's what we've been gifted over the last few years of hardship, the recognition that we do still want connection with like-minded people who get us and have the ability to see us and witness us. So emotional intelligence allows any emotion that surfaces to be witnessed and just pass through. Just pass through. It doesn't have to get stuck in us. And if it does get stuck in us, it can be transmuted, it can be shifted, it can be recoded. So imagine sadness or worry shows up, on your doorstep. And imagine these emotions could talk, okay? So knock at the door. Imagine they show up at the door, you open the door, and they simply say, hello, friend, just passing through. Don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair in a jiffy. Can you imagine if they could talk and they're just like, hey, we're here. No big deal. Don't worry about us. So sadness or worry shows up, but you're not really going to entertain it. You're not really going to hold on to it. It's letting you know it's there and it's just passing through. So you just let it pass through. You're not inviting it in for coffee or lunch. You're just saying, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I see you. Thanks for letting me know you're here, sadness and worry. And thanks for letting me know that you'll be on your way soon. See, we don't have to hold on to it. Think about utility workers. Like the electric company. I don't know what it's like in different countries, but, here in the United States, we have the electric company. We have, the gas company. They might need to come and look at your meters. When I was a little girl, this happened a lot more often, like the phone company, or you'd have the meter man, show up, these different individuals. And sometimes you knew they were coming because they'd give you a community notification that they'd be visiting this week or, whatever. But sometimes they'd just show up. You wouldn't necessarily know that they were coming, and they might knock on the door so you wouldn't be alarmed. And, the utility worker from whatever company might say, hey, I just need to get to the side of your house. Can you open your gate? Or I'll be in your backyard for a few moments. I didn't want you to be alarmed. I just need to get a read for a moment on the meter, or I need to adjust something. And when I was a little girl, and I would imagine when this still happens, while it might be a little bit of an inconvenience, you've got this stranger here, they usually are very quick about it. Like they're there and they're gone. It's not like they're doing actual work, right? They're just checking out, making sure your system is working or that things are aligned, or they need to get a code, or they need to get a reading on whatever, how much power you're using or whatever it is. So imagine, using those examples, imagine when lower emotions show up, imagine just letting them do their job, which might be to bring hidden energy to the surface so that it can be cleared and adjusted. Worry and sadness may show up just so that it's okay. We're coming from the background. We're coming up to the surface. We're no longer in the subconscious. We're coming to the conscious awareness so that it can now be cleared and shifted and healed. Imagine if these emotions show up and we just go, oh, okay, I see you. And then we let them go. So changing the way that we conceptualize challenging emotions is a game changer for the empath that is so energy sensitive and always feeling so many emotions. But it's also a game changer for our world. And as part of our light work and mission assignments, we are here to teach the general human collective that emotions can be released, that we can feel them and they can just be passersby. They can just pass through. Some of the techniques like thought-field therapy and EMDR are designed to help people just let emotions pass through, let the energetic charge be cleared and released. Even though those emotions were felt, they don't have to linger. They don't have to stay. Just like pictures in a frame, like you're on a train and you're just watching through the window, seeing the different scenes go by of the scenery. You're on the train, it's moving, and you're just watching. This is what emotions can be like. They can just fade through or flow through. They don't have to get stuck in us. So we are capable of releasing emotions that are not serving rather quickly in a non-dramatic but very graceful way. Tai Chi, Qigong. We can release, we can let go, we can shift, and we can recode. So emotional intelligence allows the emotion to be witnessed and just pass through without getting stuck, lodged in our physical body, our nervous system, our energy, our mind, our emotional, constructs. They can just go through. They don't have to become a thing. Notice the difference between a feeling that shows up and an actual emotional state. So a feeling can show up at any given moment. You might notice that you feel sad or disappointed or jealous or rejected or angry or whatever. Just a feeling, it happens. It's part of the human experience. Life shows up and we feel things. But notice the difference between a feeling that's temporary and an emotional state that takes up residence in your being. One is just a visitor passing through, no big deal. You feel it, you're going to let it go soon. The other is looking to take up residence in your mind, your body, and your heart space. So, for example, if sadness shows up, it doesn't have to automatically become depression. However, if you entertain that sadness for long periods of time, it absolutely may become depression. And if worry shows up, it doesn't automatically mean you have an anxiety disorder. However, consistent worry will most likely produce anxiety. So emotional intelligence allows for quick transmutation and healing to take place much faster. It allows us to see everything for what it is and then transmute the pain quickly, the lower emotional structures quickly into higher light. Now, emotional intelligence also allows us to communicate better with humans. There's a lot of research that shows that if you're interested in romantic partnership, if you are, if you link up with, hook up with, marry an intelligent, emotionally intelligent human, you're most likely going to have a better, more high-functioning, beautiful relationship, especially if the two of you are emotionally intelligent. So emotional intelligence allows you to be a better parent and a better partner, and depending on your field of work, perhaps a better nurse or healing practitioner, a better teacher. Because of the emotional intelligence, you're able to see the emotions for what they are and transmute the energy and allow them to just pass through and not become full-blown emotional states or conditions that could at some point even create mental dysregulation and even physical deterioration. So with emotional intelligence, we know that we can transmute pain very quickly. We can transmute any energy, any emotional frequency into higher light. So with this perspective, we can use everything as fuel to reestablish our sovereignty and regain our divine power. So even if you experience sadness or worry or fear or disappointment, even if those show up in your experience, with this perspective, using your emotional intelligence, your spiritual intelligence, your energetic intelligence, your quantum intelligence, your otherworldly intelligence, you see the lower emotion, the sadness, the worry, the fear as an opportunity. You conceptualize it as fuel for your life. It's useful. It has a purpose. Ooh, let me transmute that energy and I can use it for something positive, something healthy. So imagine transmuting things in this manner. Rejection shows up. You transmute it into confidence. Sadness shows up. You transmute it into health. Betrayal shows up in your human experience and you transmute it into wisdom. Loneliness shows up and you transmute it into a solid work ethic, which becomes prosperity. Anxiety shows up and you transmute it into peace. So again, if we think about our brothers and sisters that are experiencing war, famine, plague, disease, sadness, discouragement, imagine if we empaths collectively come together with our light and our pure heart intentions and we recode the structure and we transmute the energy and we use our emotional intelligence to shift the lower emotion associated with those experiences into higher light. Is it possible for us to shift war into peace? dear ones? Is it possible for us to shift famine into provision? Is it possible for us to shift plague and disease and nefarious agendas into wisdom and boundaries and better ways of coexisting? What is possible, empath? What is possible? This is your life. The world is your oyster. What do you choose? What do you want to transmute? What do you want to shift? What do you want to change? What do you want to create? You are a value creator. What do you want to do with your light while we're here? What do you want to do with your life force, dear empath, while we are here? How do you want to use your energy? How do you want to finesse your energy? So with awareness of your layers and levels of intelligence, you can dial into the mysteries of the universe and create real-time reality adjustments right now. And if you stay aware of your power empaths, you can transmute energy in real time and change your reality and the reality of your environment right now. You can make corrections very quickly, and you can create new paradigms. And you, dear beautiful empath, can adjust timelines now. You can make timeline corrections right now. It's all in how you conceptualize the energy, the emotional intensity, and it's all in how you finesse your energy and use the empath intelligence that you've been gifted to see everything as fuel that can be vortexed, shifted, aligned, recalibrated, transmuted, attuned, healed, and adjusted to serve higher light. All right, my loves, beautiful brothers and sisters, thank you for tuning in again. I'm hoping that you will find this particular video at the time that you need it. Thank you so much for showing up in the world as the beautiful light that you are. Blessings on your empath journey, and I look forward to seeing you again. Blessings. Bye.